guess what? It's time for a story. So, take some time to get really comfortable and ready for story time. Take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, take an hour, build a blanket fort, whatever you got to do. While you're doing that, I will tell you that this podcast and these stories are supported by patrons. So if you're enjoying these stories and you would like to contribute something back, support the stories, you can become a patron too. And you can do that on patreon.com/Can I Tell You a Story. That's patreon.com/Can I Tell You a Story. And you'll receive bonus stories. There's a new one every 4 weeks, and there's a whole pile of them already there waiting for you. And you will receive other things too, depending on what options you choose. You can find out more about that on the site. And now, are you ready in your blanket fort? Because it's story time. Act over. Henty leaves the striped yellow and red big top set up near the wharf and sits with his feet dangling in their oversized shoes, smoking a roll-up cigarette and staring into the dark water. His face is a lie, a bright smile painted over his downturned lips. Music drifts from the tent, brassy and distorted, the cries of open-mouthed crowd awed by the high-wire act. He pictures the small woman walking the tightrope, blindfolded, bright red umbrella in one hand, and waits for screams that don't come. She never falls. Henty has never thought about why he doesn't like her. Maybe because her smile is genuine, her made-up face mirroring the one underneath. Henty flicks his butt into the greasy water, looks up just in time to see two figures struggling at the end of the pier. He can't hear what they're saying. The wind is pushing their words out into the harbour. They seem evenly matched, scuffling and shuffling, never giving or gaining much ground, until they break apart and one figure moves fast, reaching for something. A weapon, Henty supposes, the upper hand. They dart back into the fray and it happens fast. The unarmed figure is hit hard with a large fish, and he tumbles backwards into the water. Henty doesn't see him come back to the surface. A trout, he decides, apropos of nothing. Music swells, brass and drums, and Henty has to hurry to make his bows. Caught in the lights and the applause, the fighting figures and the fish fade from his mind. In the after-show jumble of bodies and props and emotions running high as the wire stretched far above their heads, Henty stands on the illusionist's foot in his giant clown shoes. Overcorrecting, he backs into the cabinet used to make the illusionist's beautiful assistant disappear, and he watches it teeter and crash to the ground. The illusionist snaps at him, yellowing teeth barred. Henty covers his flush of embarrassment with his own get-out-of-my-way snarl and storms out of the tent and into the quiet night. Too keyed up to sit in his caravan, he stalks the nighttime streets near the harbour, exaggerated red-painted smile on his stark white face, camouflaging the scowl beneath. The sound of the water slaps the docks. Adrenaline fades and Henty feels shrunken and jittery. He pushes the door of a small church, surprised when it opens, empty pews lit by a candle at the end of each row. He goes inside and sits towards the back, hands resting on his knees. Streetlight comes in the stained glass windows, casting coloured shadows on the floor. After a while he realises he's not alone. A voice from a dark patch beside a pillar asks him a question. "Is that you, Father?" "No," says Henty. "Oh, you'll do. Forgive me, for I have sinned." "What did you do?" "I hit someone with a trout." "So it was a trout," says Henty, the words leaving his mouth before his mind considers that telling a possible murderer you're a witness to said possible murder wasn't the best course of action. Too late now. "Did he die?" he asks. "I don't know. That's the problem, the not knowing. The last time this happened I was followed everywhere. Ghost fingers, ghost voices, dead but alive, nagging, wheedling. Got no sleep, no rest, no peace. Not knowing what's what, it'll kill you." "The last time? How did you get them to stop?" "I trapped them. In this jar, see?" The owner of the voice comes closer, wrapped in a long coat, holding out a jam jar with a checkered lid. "Looks empty to me," says Henty. "It would, wouldn't it? Voices are invisible." "So you're waiting for a new voice to haunt you? Kind of like Schrodinger's corpse, isn't it? dead and alive. If you never find the body, it'll always be both. I don't think that's how that works. Presumably he'll know if he's dead or alive. But you won't know, says Henty. The man with the jar shudders. I need to go back. Maybe there'll be a sign. I'll walk with you. Henty yawns. I'm not sitting here all night. Why are you sitting in a church in the middle of the night? I was running away from the circus. Away? That's different. Why? Oh, I pissed off the illusionist. They threatened to turn you into a frog? Ha, no. I'm just better at it than they are. Illusions. They make a woman disappear with tricks. I make myself disappear. No tricks. You might see a painted face, but there is no one underneath this mask. I take it off and I cease to exist. That's so, says the man. James, he adds. My name is James. Henty makes a noise that could mean anything. They walk together in silence through the quiet streets. At the pier, the trout is gone. Is that a sign? Could be. Sign of what? Sign the voices are coming for me. Run away and join the circus? It's right there. You're a clown. You look happy about it. Are you happy about it? No, says Henty. I don't think I've ever been happy about anything. But you live at the circus? Yeah, says Henty. That's half the problem. They're all insane. Including you? Oh, probably. You'll fit right in. James thinks about this. I don't have an act, he says. What would I do? We'll dress you up in a bonnet and frilly drawers and you can go round asking everyone if they've seen your fish. It'll be a riot. They wind their way between the tents and trucks and trailers. The eyes of performers and workers watch them pass, reflecting flames from the small cook fires they're gathered around. Through here, says Henty, picking his way over guy ropes between two tents to the fire he shares with Sid, the strongman. A shout sails out of the darkness. Oi, Henty! Who's your stranger? What's in the jar? Will it go with fish? Strongman, says Henty to James, who is clutching his jam jar in one hand. Next to the strongman is the illusionist's beautiful assistant, her brilliant red hair piled on top of her head and held in place with a stick. Across the fire from her is a damp-looking man that Henty doesn't know, reaching his hands to the flames. Who's this? Newest member, man with the fish. He's going to sit up on the tightrope platform with a fishing rod, fish the audience. It's like that saying, give a man a fish, teach a man to fish, forget all that. Make friends with a man who knows how to fish, and you'll eat well, and you don't have to learn a damn thing about fishing. I didn't catch it, says the man. It caught me. He rubs the side of his face where a bruise is blossoming, shiny in the firelight. Schrodinger's corpse, says Henty, glancing at James, who looks taller than he did earlier. What? Says the damp-looking man. Nothing. Let's eat. Henty and James settle themselves by the fire as Sid pulls a foil-wrapped fish from the coals. They eat the trout, seasoned with uncertainty, from the glass jar that now lies empty by the glowing remains of the fire. Thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed the story. And if you did and you want more stories and you can't wait 2 weeks for the next one, perhaps you'd like to become a patron. Patrons receive bonus stories. There are piles of them waiting there for you already on the site, and you can find out more about those and sign up on patreon.com/Can I Tell You a Story. patreon.com/Can I Tell You a Story. Until next time, keep your eye out for a man with a fish.